All right.
May 2017.
November 2017. They will repeat this question 1.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Because we can't come and do cell inside class, and this will not come out as number 1.
Please don't forget the assignment. November 2014, question 1. November
2014.
Is it 2024 or 2014, sir?
2024, sorry. 2024.
November.
Question 1.
We'll attempt and bombard your webinar with questions.
All right, please, let's quickly look at this tough food. Quickly.
We are there, sir.
It says, that tough food. What question number is that tough food? I'm trying to open it.
Question 1.
Question 1.
Question 1, November 2017.
2017, right?
Yes, November 2017. Question 1.
If you want to help us post it into the group, please.
Everybody want to pass PM. This PM go here of this year. Hey, now. Wow.
Please, have you all found it? Have you seen it?
Yes. Top Food Limited. TTL.
Yes.
All right. Top Food Limited manufactures specialty meat pie, which it sells to fast food shops. The only variable costs are raw material and labor. The raw material consists of 3 grades of raw meat. The standard cost of the raw material used in manufacture of each 100 kilograms of specialty meat pie is as follows. Raw material XYZ, kg, figures assumed correct. Standard price, kg, figures assumed correct. Now, this figure that they gave us here, 200, 300, 400, what are those things? Are they standard costs? Are they standard prices?
Standard price.
Standard price. Standard price.
Okay.
Please, can someone help us send the question to the group, please?
You've not seen it?
25.
Have you seen it? All right. There's a normal loss of raw material during production equivalent to 25% of what? Of output.
Of output.
Okay. What's the normal loss? Let me ask. What's the normal loss? What do you understand by the term normal loss?
Allowable loss during production.
Allowable loss, right? So when you hear normal loss, it means as long as you're into that production, that quantity, you must what? There must be an amount of your material that you're going to what? Lose to production of that
unavoidable loss. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So, and they told us that this normal loss is equivalent to how many percent? 25% of output. It takes 5 labor hours to process the input of 125 kg labor. Okay, 125 kg. Labor is normally paid 180 per hour. Idle time is expected to be 10% of hours paid. This is not reflected in the rate of 180 above. Idle time is normally adjusted in the labor rate when computing standard costs and the relevant variances. In preparing its budget for 2016, the company assumed that there will be a market in the country for 250,000 kg of specialty meat pie and that TFL's product would have a 40% share of this market. The budget also assumes a selling price that gives contribution margin ratio of how much? 36%. However, during 2016, both TFL and its competitor were adversely affected by diminishing consumer confidence in meat products. The actual total market size was only 220,000 kg of specialty meat pie instead of the anticipated 250,000 kg. And TFL sold only 66,000 kg of its product. The managing director of TFL recently explained how his company attempted to respond to the difficulties which it faced in 2016. First, we reduced our selling price from 625 to 613. This was a modest price reduction in comparison with those of our smaller competitors. Second, we took advantage of falling market prices for some of our types of meat, which we use as raw material for our products. With benefit of insight, we should perhaps have done more to increase the consumer's confidence in safety and quality of meat product in general, and our own product in particular. The price of actual raw material used by TFL in 2016 were as follows. Raw material XYZ, quantity figures assumed correct, price assumed correct. The company had no opening or closing inventory of raw materials or finished product. 3,000 labor hours were paid for, costing 576,000. 2,600 labor hours were worked. You are required to prepare a standard cost card per kilogram of the specialty meat pie, showing clearly the contribution and the selling price per kg. Compute the company's budgeted and actual contribution for 2016. And then C, compute the following variances for the company: raw material price, raw material mix, and raw material yield. Sales price and sales volume, already calculated variances as follows: labor rate, figure given; efficiency, figure given; idle time variance, given. Use the above variances to prepare a reconciliation of the budgeted contribution with the actual contribution. Evaluate critically the performance of the company in 2016, supporting your answer with reference to the variances you have calculated and the ones given in the notes here above. 7 marks, total 30 marks for doing absolutely nothing.
For really working,
Now look at the first one.
for using brain.
No thinking. Now look at the A part. You don't get discouraged by the length of the question. I would advise you, when you see, especially your question 1, you know it's always designed to be very long, and it's deliberate, even if it's cheap. The fact that it's long, by the time you're reading, you just get disconnected in a way because it's just so lengthy. You know, so you don't get disconnected. What you will do when you collect your question paper on that date, go to the requirement, right? When you go to the requirement, just read the requirement. First one, prepare standard cost card, blah, 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 compute this one, compute that one. When you're done, what it will help you to do is that as you're reading the scenario, it puts you in an inquiry position. Based on what they are expecting me to do, I know what and what I'm looking for in the question. Rather than getting discouraged, you're reading everything like newspaper. And then by the time you get to the requirement, you have even forgotten where to start from. All right. So what you do first is to go to where first? The requirement. Just look at the questions. Calculate the relevant variances. It means as you are giving you those scenarios, you're picking your figures and then you proceed. Now, the A part is asking us to compute what? Prepare a standard cost card per kilogram of specialty meat pie. This is a very free mark. 6 marks for free. Now, the standard cost card given to us is for how many kg? 100 kilogram. Look at the last line before that first table. Can you see? The standard cost of the raw material used in manufacture of what? Each 100 kilograms of specialty meat pie is below. It means all these figures are given for how many kilograms? 100. And now the requirement now says prepare standard cost card per what? Kilogram. So what am I supposed to do here? Just divide it by what? By 100 for free. And then they say it's 6 marks. All right, so let's quickly do that. Okay?
You need maths.
So just to divide by 100. This is so cheap.
Standard cost card per kilogram of what? Specialty what? Meat pie. So we have a kg an hour. We have our standard price / rate. And then you have your standard cost. Is that not? What's the first material? Direct material what? X, Abi?
X.
Raw material X. How much is it in kg?
25 kg.
So raw, is it raw material or direct material?
Raw material.
Okay. Raw material X. They gave us 25 kg, Abi?
Yes, sir.
25 kg divided by what? 100. How much would that give me? 0.25. Abi? What's the standard price given to us? 200. No thinking. Standard cost, help me. 50. Direct material, that's raw material Y. How much is given to me? 60? 60 kg divided by what? 100. How much? 0.6. How much is the cost? 300.
300.
Standard 180. What else we have? Raw material. Raw material C. How much? 40 kg divided by 0.4. How much? 160.
That's
400.
400.
160.
160.
What else we have?
Finish.
That's all. But there's labor.
Excuse me, please, how you get the
There's still labor.
standard cost? The standard cost.
Eh?
Please, how did you get the standard cost?
Standard prices are in the
Standard
costing.
price and
price
standard
times
quantity
four.
now. All right. What's this total? Help me add this together. 1.25. Now they said something about normal loss. Is that true? What's the normal loss? 25% of what? Of output. Now, NB. Normal loss. 25% of what? Output. Now, what's our total input? Look at our total input is how much?
125.
So that means our raw material we're putting in is how much? 1.25. Right? There's a 25% normal loss on what? On this output, Abi?
Yes.
So on input rather. Input is 1.25 kg. Now remember that your output equals to input minus normal loss. True or false?
Yes.
If you are producing something, whatever thing that you impute, this is the raw material you bought from the market you're using, right? Whatever waste that you have and the way you deduct it from it, whatever thing you have left is what? Is output. Does it make sense to us?
Yes.
Yes, it makes sense. It does not begin.
Okay. Now, this question, they said normal loss is a percentage on what? On output. Normal loss can be a percentage on input. If normal loss were to be a percentage on input, it means that if it's 25% on input, what's 25% of this 1.25? What will it give me? Anybody?
1.
Eh? 3125. That will have meant that my output will just be the difference between that value and this value. That will give me my output. Is that not? But the question told me that this normal loss is a percentage on what? On output. And I know that output equals to input minus what? Normal loss, and normal loss is 25% of output, right? So let's get our output quickly. Minus normal loss is 0. That's true. Yes. This is what they told us. So if you take this to this side, x plus 0.25 x equals 1.25. 1.25x equals 1.25. And then my x is what? 1. Abracadabra, right? So this is my output. So meaning that my normal loss is how many kg? .25, Nabi.
Yes.
Normal loss equals to 0.25 kg. How did I get that? That is 1.25 input minus 1, which is output. Whatever thing that is left is what? 0.25 kg, which is my normal loss. So here, normal loss at 0.25, which is what? 0.25. Take it out. This is my output. I will explain to you why this is important as we move on. 1.0. So the last thing here is labor. Let's go to labor. Any problem? Are you sure? All right. So what's our labor? Please, let's go to that labor line. What are we told about labor?
Some labor hours were paid for.
That is idle time.
Okay, so that means labor hour. Okay, they gave us idle time, Abby. What's
Yes.
the idle time on labor? 10%, Abby. So we have 0. Okay, so let me put it here also. 5 hours divided by 100. How much is that? 0.05, Abby? Yes. Hour.
Yeah.
So what's the price here? I can call this note 1 and then call this note 2. Idle time. They said is what? 10%. And it's adjusted on what? Adjusted on the rate. So that means we have 100 divided by 100 minus 10% multiplied by, what's the labor rate? 180? Eh?
Yes. 180, yes, sir.
180.
180. 180. How much is that? It's not the same thing. It's 100%. I don't know what you are doing. 100 divided by 100 minus 10. That's 1.111 times 180, Abby. Is it 200? Yeah. All right. See, what we have done here now is simply, if you don't have idle time, right? Assuming there's no idle time, we'll be having 100% over 100% multiplied by 180. This is the rate. If there's no idle time, of course, my rate will be how much? 180. Here, no idle time. If I have idle time, I need to budget for it, right? Budgeting for it means that I'm going to employ more hours of labor so that I'll be able to produce what is required. In that case, when there's idle time, I will have 100 divided by 100 minus idle time percentage is how much? 10%, Abby, 10%. Then multiply by 180. Multiply by 180, and that will give me how much? 200. This is the rate. Now, if you want to do it manually, what that means is for every 1 hour that you employ for this production, there's idle time of how much? 10%. Is that not? So now, if I have idle time of 10%, what it means is that there's no need. Don't worry. Okay. So 200. So we have 200 because of time. How much is this? Is it 10? Yes, multiply now. 10, Abi. 10. Any other cost? Is there variable overhead? Is there any other one? I think that's all, Abi.
Yes, sir.
Total cost per unit, Abi, per kg of specialty meat pie. How much? 400? 400. What is the question ask us to calculate? Don't forget. The requirement is to calculate what?
Standard
Hello,
cost
sir.
per
Why do you factor the idle time here? I see labor 5/100 units.
Okay, say prepare a standard cost card per kilogram of specialty meat pie showing clearly contribution and what? And the selling price, Abi. So that means if you have our contribution and then our selling price. All right. So what are we told about selling price? What are we told about selling price? No, they gave us a contribution something ratio. Yes, 36%. Okay, so let's do computation of selling price. So we have our CMR. They told us how many percent? 36%, Abi. And I know that my selling price equals to what? Cost plus what? Plus profit. Is that not?
Yes.
Are we together?
Yes, sir.
All right. So selling price, we don't know. Selling price equals to cost is that much? 400 plus what's the profit? 0.36 of selling price. All right. So selling price minus 0.36 selling price equals to 400. And then our, help me, one selling price minus 0.36. 0.64, Abi?
Yes.
0.64 selling price equals to 400. And then selling price is how much? 400 divided by what? 0.64. And that's how much? 625.
625.
Now, if you look at the question, this 625 is somewhere there, right? But your examiner said anytime that they ask you to calculate something, they say you should show it. You now pick that same figure and put it there and say this is selling price. You have lost that mark. Why? Because you have not added any value to it. Otherwise, the 625 is there. So why are they asking me to show it? Right? Okay, so our country, we have our selling price to be 625, Abi?
Yes, sir.
625. So if selling price is 625, what will be the contribution here? 225. And this is what? By difference, Abi? All right, and then we are done. 6 marks free. Go to the next one.
Sorry for bringing you back. How do you get this total cost package of 400?
400, look at now. From here to this place.
Okay.
Yes. What's the B part?
Compute the company's projected and actual contribution. Compute the company's projected and actual contribution for 2016.
Okay. Can we proceed? Is it break time already? Almost. All right. Oh. B. Budgeted and what?
And actual contribution.
Actual contribution. So let's start with budgeted. So we have our quantity. What did we budget to sell? Budgeted sales.
250,000.
Budgeted sales multiplied by budgeted contribution per unit. All right, please go to the question. Is it 250? 250.
No, sir, I'm reading. Let's read, please, sir.
That's the total volume. Oh. The total market size. They said is how much?
25%.
220. Hold on. And we are looking at the budgeted. What did they budget?
In preparing the budget for 2016, the company assumed that there would be a market in the country of 250,000.
Yes. And that they have
40% of that.
Share of the market.
40%
That's 40% of what? 250.
250 times 40%.
Eh?
100.
100,000.
Yes.
$100,000.
Yes, sir.
So we have 100,000 multiplied by budgeted contribution per unit completed above. How much? 225. No thinking. 225. Help me. That's a 225,000,000. No thinking. Actual. You're ready for the exam.
The first difficulty in 2016, and this was price
actual contribution, right? So now, can we get actual sales? How much did they sell? How much actual? Eh? Is it 66? Actual. 66. At what price? 613, Abi?
Yes.
No,
Right?
625.
How much is total actual sales?
Actual 66 kg of the product.
40. 40 million 458. Yes. 000. Less actual cost, Abi. So first we have direct material X, Abi. Direct material Y. Direct material C. And then you have labor. Is that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
How much are we spending on material X?
17,600.
Eh?
170.
Is it the total?
17,600.
The total cost?
Yes.
76 times what?
170.
Times
170.
Yes.
2,992.
Like this?
2,992,000.
2,992,000.
Direct material Y.
38 times 280.
Figure?
10,640,000.
97. Z.
No.
That's not 200.
That is not.
No, that number is not correct.
It's not correct. 10,752.
That figure is not correct. The figure
Which one?
For material Y is not correct.
Material Y is not correct. 10,752.
Direct material Y, the figure is not correct.
It's 10,752,000.
10,752,000.
10,752,000. Yes, correct.
Labor cost, how much do they spend?
572. 576.
3,000 hours costing 576,000 total.
Total. You wine me.
10, 7, 5, 2,
Figure.
9, 3, 6, 0, 5, 7, 6, 14,003,200. Somebody should audit that big. 14,003,200.
Okay, subtract me. 778,000.
78.
6,000.
All right. We're done with that. How many marks is this one?
4 marks.
4 marks.
Can we move? C part, all right?
Is it
What
not
is C
time?
part asking us to do? Time for what?
Let's pray, sir. It's almost 4.
Is it time for prayer?
Yes.
All right. Prayer and break now, right? Prayer is how many minutes? 10 minutes. Break is how many
10,
minutes?
10 minutes, 10 plus 5, 15 minutes.
10 minutes. So you have 20 minutes altogether.
No,
20
15
minutes
minutes now
altogether.
should be okay. 15 minutes
So
should be
there are
okay
Right
now.
now.
some people want to eat now.
Okay, 20 minutes.
I have a budget. Don't worry. How nobody is planning to go from there? So I ask you. Please go and eat now if you want to eat. Eh?
So can you scroll it up for us to copy while others are on break? Hello, Mr. Chris.
Yes, please. Yes.
Can you please scroll it up for us to copy while others are on break? From that, this question too. This question we are solving.
Is it this one?
Yes. Scroll it up to the beginning of this question. Go up again, sir.
Where? Profit.
Yeah, it's okay there.
If they ask you to move the screen, move the screen.
I'm coming next to Class from the house. I'm able to share with people around. Say, I don't know what's going on. From the house.
You can tell it empty, but they can teach at home.
Maybe have that. I don't know. It's not that. The hustler. I need to go.
For serious students, not mine. This one really come back. Where they show back. Get the plan again. Yeah, go back.
Yes, no, it's not. What happened in group background? It's not bringing things together to make us.
Please, you can help us scroll it up again.
You said?
Scroll
Are you
it up
writing?
again. Yes, I am.
Like this? Is it okay? Is it
It's not
okay?
moving. It's not moving from here.
Is it moving?
No. Okay, go up.
Is your network? I should go up. Is it
Go up
okay?
again.
No. Someone is writing here. Is it okay?
It's not moving.
That red. It's moving, yes, your network.
Okay, don't worry. Maybe after the class, he will share it, then I'll get it.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. It's okay.
Yes, and also take the answer.
Please, can you help me scroll it up again? Okay. It's okay. It's for FR, it's for P, it's for when you get started, you know, go back to the simple. Which is this is my Just give me water. Let me put water. Glass.
No. I go back. What? Maybe today after.
Online? Hello?
Yes, sir, we
Online.
can hear you. We can hear you.
All right. So let's continue, please. All right. So what's the next question? The C. What's the C part asking us to do? Raw material price, raw material mix, and raw material yield variance, sales price, blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's quickly see. Raw material price variance. And our raw material price variance equals to standard what? Price minus actual price multiplied by what? Actual quantity what? Purchase. In this case, we have different raw materials. Is that not? So we have standard price, actual quantity purchase, and then we have variance. So we can do them together. So the first is direct material X, direct material Y, direct material what? Z. Standard price of these guys, help me, 0.25, Abi, is it? Is it 0.25
Yes.
kg?
Yes.
0.25. Y is what? 0.60.
0.
Then Z, 0.40. What's the actual price? What are the actual prices? Can you help me with them? Oh, it's 200 now. Who gave all these figures now? Okay.
At this thing.
Standard price 200, Abby.
Yes,
300 and what?
400.
I know some people have copied already.
Yeah.
What's the actual price?
170.
I
think 280 and
390. Actual
yes.
quantity purchased. Purchase. Is it the same thing as used, Abby? It's just one now, yeah? So we assume purchase same thing as used. What do you have? 17.6, yes. Yes. All right, help me. So our variance is standard price minus actual price multiplied by this equals the variance. Help me. $528,000. Favorable or adverse?
Favorable.
240,000 what? Favorable or adverse?
Favorable.
Yes. Favorable? Let me add this together. What do you have? Is it wrong? 768. One five. What's the net variance?
Mix.
I.
Direct material mix. Direct material mix.
Okay. What is the mix variance? The mix variance exists as a result of not properly using the raw materials in their standard quantity mix. All right, so now let me just explain this before we solve this question. So if I want to make Zobo, product name, Zobo, to make Zobo, ladies, help me. If you know how to make, tell me, what and what do you use?
The leaf, Zobo leaf, pineapple,
Pepper, water, and what other one?
Zobo leaf, no, the Zobo.
All right. Okay, so now let's say to make any problem, Is it me? No. Are you sure she's fine? Okay, so now let's say that to make a standard, no, it's not the Zobo that is making her. I hope she's functioning.
PM, looking for mission overload. She's time for PM. It's me.
All right, let's say that to make Zobo, I need, let's say 50 kg of pepper. Water, I need, let's say 20, and then I need 30. Right? Let's assume they're in the same unit. The total of these guys is how much? 100 kg, right? 100 kg. As long as I want this Zobo to have the same taste anywhere, right? It means that every time I want to make a unit of Zobo, right? To make one unit, I must combine 50 kg of what? Of pepper, right? 20 kg of water, and what? 30 kg to make every unit. As long as I'm able to follow this order, my Zobo will have the same taste. Is that not? If you taste Coke from 1920, original Coke, you see that the taste is what? The same, right? If you taste some bread and some unique bread that you taste, right? It's not agege bread, as in talking of standard bread, right? Their taste will be like the same. And the reason is because they have what we call a standard condiment or standard mix. All right. So now, the reason why you have a mixed variance actually is the fact that people don't comply exactly with what you have actually planned, right? So let's say this is my standard. My standard means every time I want to make one unit of Zobo, I should have them in this proportion. So it means that pepper should be having how much? 50 kg over what? Over 100. Water should have how much? 20 kg over what? 100. Right? And this will have how much? 30 kg over what? Over 100. Now let's assume that we have their standard prices. This guy is 20 naira, 10 naira, 5 naira. Now actual result means the total that I've actually mixed for the period. Let's say pepper, I have 50,000 kg for the period. Water, I had 10,000 kg. And then I have sugar, 70, okay, let's say 15 or 20,000 kg. $20,000 kg. What was the total available for the period? 80,000 kg. What you have here is what you call actual mix. For whatever output they have produced, what it means is that they have used how much? They have used 50 kg, Abi, 50,000 kg of pepper. Water, how much did they use? 10,000, and then sugar, how much? Now, if you want to get your mixed variance equals to standard mix minus actual mix multiplied by the standard price of the material. What is the standard mix? Standard mix is simply saying that for every unit you're producing, this is their proportion. Is that not? So proportion should be 50 of this over 100, this over this, this over this. Is that not? So to get our standard mix here, standard mix, what I should mix is that pepper, my standard proportion for pepper is 50 over 100. Is that? So I should have 50 over 100 multiplied by the total that's available for that period. How much? 80. How much is this? 40,000 kg. If I get to water, the proportion of water should be 20 to what? To 100, right? So 20 over 100 times what? 80,000. How much is that? 16,000 kg. And then sugar, I should have what proportion? 30 to 100. 30 over 100 multiply 80,000. And this should be how much? 24,000. All right. So my mixed variance here will simply become, so now these are all like my budget now based on actual. Is that not? Actual. So now if I have 40, 16, and 24, so I'm comparing this guy with what? Look at the actual mix. Is that not? So pepper is supposed to be how much? 40. What is the actual result? 50. Water is supposed to be how much? 16. What did they mix? 10, Daddy. Sugar is supposed to be how much? 24. And then what do they mix? 20. So if you compare these two, multiply by their standard price in the exam, beside this actual result, you also see actual price. Do you need it? You don't need actual price, right? What you need is what? The standard prices, just like your mixed variance. Your mixed variance, do you need actual price? Your usage variance, rather. Do you need standard actual price? How do you get usage variance? Oh yeah, now how do you get your usage variance? Standard quantity minus what?
Actual
quantity multiplied by what?
Standard price.
Standard price. Standard price. So you don't need the actual. All right. Actual price. So now here, our mixed variance, what are we going to be having? We would have something like standard mix, actual mix, and then standard price, and then you have the variance. So our pepper, what's the standard mix? Standard mix is this proportion multiplied by the quantity available for that period, which you have computed. This guy is how much? 40,000. This is what? 16. This is what? 24. This is water. And this is what? Sugar. Actual mix, 50, 10, 20, right? 50,000, 10,000, 20,000. And then my standard price is how much? 20, 10, 5. 20, 10, 5. So standard mix minus actual mix multiply standard price equals to variance. This minus this times this minus this times this minus this times this. And then I have these variances. Any question? Now go to the question now. Let's see if we can answer it together. Go to this question now. Are we all there? Now, how many materials do you have?
3.
3. Now, direct material X. How much do I need to make 1 unit of it? How many kg do I need to make 1 unit of direct? To make 1 unit of direct material X budgeted, how much kg do I need? To make 1 unit of my product, how much of X do I need? 0.25. You were saying it in your mind, you didn't say it out. 0.25. The 25 you're calling, is it not for 100, Abi?
Yeah,
To make 1 Y, how much do we need? 0.6 kg. Is that? I mean, to make 1 unit of the product, Y needs 0.6 kg. For direct material X, how much do I need? 0.4. What is that total? 1.25 kg, Abi? Is that not? My standard mix will be that for every unit I'm making, I should mix 0.25 divided by what?
1.25.
1.25. For X, for Y, I should be having 0.6 divided by what? 1.25. And for Y, for Z, I should be having 0.4 divided by what?
4 divided by 1.25.
All right, so now let's quickly do that. So back to top food question. All right, so our mix variance. Mix variance. We said our mix variance equals to standard mix minus what? Actual mix multiplied by what? Standard price of the materials. So how many materials do we have? Direct material X, direct material Y, direct material what? Z. So I have standard mix, I have actual mix, and then I have my what? Standard price and then variance. I can get some of these things straightforward, right? Sorry, actual mix. All right. All right, so we have the standard prices. You can just get that directly, Abi, from the table. Help me, standard price of X, how much? 200, no thinking, yes. 300, yes. 400. Actual mix, I can get this already. Is that not? They gave us actual mix now, those materials. For X, how much? 17,600.
600.
Eh?
3,800.
38,400. 24,000. Abi, see, this is the total that they use for that period. Can somebody help me add it together quickly? 80,000. 80,000 kg. Abi? So let's go and calculate our mix somewhere. So standard mix. How do we get our standard mix? First, let's get we have our proportion. Direct material Y, direct material Z. This guy is 0.25 divide 1.25. Is that? This one is 0. Is it 4? 60 divided by 1.25. And this guy is how much? 0.4 divide 1.25. Abi? So these are my standard. Multiply by what? What's available for the period? Multiply 80. No thinking. 80,000. Help me figure.
First one,
15,000.
16,000.
38? Yes. 600. So no thinking, just lift. This guy becomes 16,000, 38, 400, and what? 25, 600. So this minus this multiplied by this guy is what gives me variance. Help me if you have a good calculator. How much?
320,000.
320,000. Favorable or adverse?
Adverse.
Zero. Sharp. Favorable or adverse?
Favorable.
Favorable? Are you sure? Okay. So what's our total variance? Total direct material mix variance. How much?
320.
1,000 what? Favorable. Right? Yield variance. Yield variance. This is the difference between expected yield and what? And the actual yield. Our yield variance equals to standard yield minus actual yield multiplied by yield price, where SY is standard yield, AY is actual, and then YP is our yield price. And this yield price is addition of standard costs. All right, so let me explain. When you talk about expected yield, we are saying that for every given input into any production, there's an expectation. Am I correct? Like in this question now, they told us that for every 1.25 kg, what do you get as output? 1. So that means if I impute 125%, I should get 100% as what? As output. Is that? So now that thing alone is what we call the standard yield. So if I want to get my standard yield, it means that based on the standard cost card that has been given to me, I have an expectation. And in this case, my standard yield equals to 1 for every 1.25. Okay, so let me put it this way. Output divide input multiplied by total material available. So our output is 1 over input is how much? 1.25. Total material available for that period is how much? 80,000 kg, Abi?
Yes.
80,000 kg. So my standard yield should be how much? Help me. 1 divide 1.25 multiply 80,000. 64,000 kg. Our actual yield equals to actual output, no thinking. What's the actual output? What did they produce for that period? Actual.
66.
66,000
Yes,
kg. So the next is our yield price. And we say yield price equals to addition of standard costs. All right. So what's our standard cost? Look at the first from the first table. What's the standard cost? Look at it here. Standard cost for raw material X, Y, and Z. We have 50 plus 180 plus 160. Is that? Let me add them together. 50 plus what? 180 plus what again? Is it? 160. How much? 390. And then our yield variance equals to 64,000 minus what? 66,000 multiplied by what? 390.
390.
What do we have? Figure?
780.
Minus 66,000 multiplied 390, 780,000. Favorable or adverse?
Favorable.
Favorable or adverse?
Favorable.
Favorable. Because yield is like what? Like your sales, Abby? Output.
Yes.
Sharp.
Revenue.
Next. Next. All right, sales price. Sales price, no thinking. How do you get that? Standard selling price minus actual selling price multiplied by what? Actual quantity
Quantity sold.
sold. Sharp. Standard selling price. You go ne? 625. Yes. Computed, Abi. Actual.
Yes.
613, Abi.
613.
613. Actual quantity sold. How much? 66,000.
66.
Help me. No thinking. We like using your head, though. I hope you won't do that there. Okay. 792.
Adverse.
Next. Sales volume variance. No thinking. Standard or budgeted. Budgeted sales volume minus what? Actual sales volume multiplied by standard contribution. Right?
Yeah.
Budgeted sales volume, how much? Is it 250?
Yes.
It's 100.
100,000.
100,000.
100,000 minus actual.
Yes.
Standard
66,000.
contribution. 225, Abi.
225, yeah.
Igor. Like this.
765.
Favorable adverse.
Adverse.
All right. So what are they asking us to do again? I think there's a place they ask us to do reconciliation, Abi.
Reconciliation.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we have those things again. So let's just bring them together. Reconciliation statement. So I always like to start with my budgeted profit or budgeted contribution. Budgeted contribution. How much is it?
2 million.
Budgeted contribution we computed now from the B, I think.
22,500,000. 22,500. 22,500,000.
500, Abi. So now let's adjust.
For sales variance.
We should put zeros up.
Yes.
Let's just do total. So we have adjustment for sales
variance.
Sales variance, Abi.
Yes, sir.
The first one is what?
Sales price
Abi?
variance. Yeah.
Variance, sales volume
variance.
Variance. Help me. Volume, I can see this to be 7, 6,
7,960.
right?
7,650.
7,650,000. And price is how much?
792
adverse. Adverse. This is also 792, also adverse. 792,000 adverse. Add the two together for me. Help me. 792 plus 7,650. 8 442 like this. Adverse, so I'm taking it out. Help me. This will give me budgeted contribution at actual sales.
Actual sales.
Price and volume. Help me. 14,058.
1,000.
All right. So what do we adjust for next? Cost variance, Abi. Adjustment for cost variance. So we have favorable, we have adverse, direct material what? Direct material. Okay, we can add all of them. We already got the total, Abi. Direct material price variance, Abi. Direct material mix variance. There are some other variances they gave to us.
Yield variance.
Labor rate, Abi. Labor efficiency. Idle time. Help me with these figures first, quickly. Yes, we bring it. Labor is how much? Labor rate, 36 adverse. Which one? 1.
40,000.
Yes.
20,000.
20,000 advice.
Uh-huh.
Then
Price variance. Voila. Direct material price, look at it. Favorable, be 15. Oh, is this correct?
1.5.
1536. Mix total 320 favorable. Next one 320 Abi. 320 favorable. Then we have yield, Abi. So we adjust that last. Help me with these figures. 7. The yeah, I know. Just help me with this total. Which one?
6,000.
Like this. So this is adverse, Abi. Take it out. Favorable. Let me add it. These two now. We are here already. Add this one to it. No, I know. Yeah. 15 million. 998,000.
Yes.
Okay, so we now have yield variance. How much is that yield variance? 780. Is it favorable or adverse? Because it's not cost. Because it's not cost variance. Yeah, but if you're adding it, that means you have to just. What's the total? 16 million. 778,000. So this will be our actual contribution. What did you get for actual then? 16 is 16,778. Actual. Okay, 16,778. So we are good. All right. So guys, let's proceed to something more interesting.